I'm sorry I'm late this morning. I have no excuse other than I'm just late this morning. I went for a little extra long walk because it literally is freezing here in Sacramento, and I know I'm not going to get much sympathy from most of you in the other parts of the world, but especially the East Coast and everything else, but it doesn't freeze on lawn very often in the last 50 years or so. So, I want to do something today. Actually, I want you to do something today, if you're so inclined. Uh, for those of us who practice magic, sort of the classic, Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley, uh, uh, hermetic kind of magic, Kabbalistic magic, we're used to having at our fingertips a body of literature going back many hundreds of years, in some cases, that provide us with entire hierarchies of angels, uh, archangels, spirits, intelligences, demons, afrits. Uh, Classical magical literature abounds with it, including 1001 Arabian Nights, which you may think is just a fairy tale book. Uh, but besides being a fairy tale book, it's also a bona fide uh, magical grimoire. As a matter of fact, in a sense, if you really want to get technical, it is the source book for the five books of the Megaton, from which Goetia and the modern practice of Solomonic magic is based. That being said, there is, besides all of us modern magicians holding these texts in a certain level of respect, and we hold them to be we, we evoke demons from them. Okay, we'll put names on our circle, names around our triangle. Uh, we'll look up the names of spirits that whose names have been corrupted over and over and over again, but they landed in a grimoire, and we end up using that grimoire, like spirit that I work with and have for years, Orobas. His original name wasn't spelled Orobas. It was he comes. Still, when evoked, it works. And there is a set of spirits Kabbalistically created and worked with over the centuries by Kabbalistic magicians or Kabbalah magicians. And if all is done well, if the magician is truly a magician, they work too. Now, does that mean that if you misspell their name, it won't come? First of all, if you're worried that it will, if it worries you that you'll screw up if you don't do it just the exact same way as a 1543 Sloan manuscript or something like that has, then you better do it you better do it right until you get a grasp of what it is you're really doing, and then you can set yourself free. But what I wanted to do today is sort of like something I would do at a Monday night class. And I would show you using an example of Kabbalah magic, Kabbalah astrology magic, if you will. What they've done with these angels of the Shem HaMephorash. Now, do you see the top yellow line there? And Hebrew reads from right to left. So you see all of these, you see 3 rows of Hebrew letters there. And each of those rows is 72 letters long, okay? Now, when you reach the end of it, like there, they go back for the second row, like that. And if you go, when you reach the end there, for the third row of 72, then they're read in this direction, like that. Okay. Now, those aren't just arbitrary Hebrew letters. These are 3 consecutive verses in the book of Exodus that when rendered in Hebrew, each of those consecutive verses has 72 letters in it. Now that rang all sorts of bells in the minds of Kabbalists. 72 is a big Kabbalistic number for various reasons, but mostly for astrological reasons, because there are 72 periods of 5 degrees in the zodiacal year. So like every 5 degrees is in the year is sacred to one of those little sections. And when you double it, sort of night and day-ish, we've got 36. And 36 is huge because that's the number of 10-degree periods that the year is broken up into. And the way Kabbalist magicians are thinking, they said, well, there must be an angel associated with every 5 degrees. Every day of the year, every almost week has an angel that is, okay. Or every 10 degrees of the zodiac, every decan of the zodiac has an angel that rules the night and an angel that rules the day of that 10-degree period. And they just get all excited. Okay, the 72 is huge. And to have 3 consecutive verses in the Pentateuch, second book of the Pentateuch in Exodus, verse 19, 20, and 21. And these are part of the narrative in Exodus that nobody ever forgets. It's the dramatic thing of where the children of Israel are being led out of the wilderness, and a huge pillar, a tornado leads them through the promised land, and through the wilderness, excuse me, and that's where the Pharaoh is chasing them with his army, and they hit the banks of the Red Sea, and Moses holds out his rod, or Aaron's rod. He has to borrow Aaron's rod, and says, "Behold his mighty hand." And the waters part. Okay, well, the mighty hand of God is where the power of Yod-He-Vav-He manifests on earth, the power of God. Okay, it's so to a magician's mind, 72 is oh man, 72 is lined up with that story, and that story is lined up with the hand of God and the power of Jehovah, and Jehovah is Yod He Vav He, and if you spell it Yod Hey, Yod, Yod Hey, Yod He Vav, Yod He Vav He, in a triangle like that, it adds up to 72. And oh my God, the Kabbalists are just going batshit crazy. Man, this is important. These three verses are very important, and so that's what they do. They line them up like a snake. We'll start there. The first 72 letters are that top row, and then they snake it around, and the second 72 letters, or the second verse, is there, and then the third verse like that. And then they read these things. They read them in columns now. And these are a broken up name of Jehovah, or a broken up name of God, 72 three-letter names of pieces of God, aspects of God, qualities of God, facets of God, each assigned to 5-degree periods of the zodiacal year. So the yellow is actually a big, long, freaking huge, hard to pronounce name of God. You'd have to really take a deep breath to pronounce those 72 those 72 three-letter names of God. Okay. Now, below that is a red thing where I've transliterated those into English letters. And below that, that white row is a suffix that's added to the end of that three-letter name. It's either IH or AL. Now, when the suffix is added to the three-letter name of God, it turns that aspect of God into an angel name, who is the butler to that particular aspect of God. So we've got 72 three-letter names of God, and each of those three-letter names of God has a butler, an executor of the power of that particular aspect of deity. And the IH would be a really kind of mellow butler, a merciful butler, a sort of laid-back, merciful butler. But with AL is added to the end of the three-letter name of God, it's an angel of judgment. So he'll kick your ass if your ass needs kicking. Now, exactly why they are distributed in such a way, it sort of complicates things and gets into the anal, retentive minutia of Kabbalistic logic, because each of those 72 angel names are also add up to a verse in the scripture, verse in the Pentateuch, 72 verses of the Pentateuch where the name Yod He Vav He appears. And each of those verses has a characteristic. And some Kabbalists made the judgment, well, the characteristic in this verse where Yod He Vav He appears sounds like a kick-ass verse. And the other one and others sound like a merciful verse. So, But why am I telling you all of this? Because I titled today's thing, Make Your Own Angels. Somebody made this up. Okay, they were really cool Kabbalists and everything else, but they were people. They were born. They had to have their diaper changed. They grew up. They died probably much younger than us. They were human beings living in a minute little generation. They lived, they died, they pooped, just like all of us. So somebody made it all of this up. A magician made it all up. And when you get into magic, you get into magic to become a magician. You don't really get into magic, or you shouldn't be getting into magic to act like other magicians, to pose as a magician, to behave as a magician, to act as a magician. No, to become a magician. So if this was a Monday night magic class, I would say make your own Shem HaMephorash set of angels yourself, just as an exercise. Because as Rabbi Ben Clifford says, working Kabbalistic exercises, it's more than just practice sessions. You're rearranging yourself as you're doing this. You're squirting WD-40 in the rusted machinery of yourself. So, here's an example. Pick a text. Pick a book, pick a poem, pick a piece of scripture. It could be anything, a song lyric, anything that holds your soul in awe. As an example, Thelemite magicians might turn to the Book of the Law. And the opening words of the Book of the Law are Had, the manifestation of Nuit, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior lord of Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou Hadit, my secret center, my heart, and my tongue. Now, because I'm a 73-year-old man with far too much time on my hands, and maybe this is why I was a little late this morning, I counted every letter of every word of that phrase. And there just happens to be 72 letters that take us down to Be thou Hadit, my secret center, my heart, H-E-A-R, not the T. I guess we have to leave the T out. But if I would write without spaces, without punctuation, without anything, just the letters. Had the manifestation of Nuit, the unveiling of the company of heaven, every man and every, that's 72. Woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior lord of Thebes. Let's see, where is it? I think I ran out of, help me, O warrior lord. Well, anyway, the next 72 letters, all the way down to hit the 216th letter. And if I put that, then just like that yellow thing, the yellow stripe at the top, and then where there'd be no need for that red one because it'd already be in English letters. But then we would read those as columns, and there are your 72 three-letter names of God. Now, for the time being, let's just ignore the AL or IH. You can figure out how to distribute that. Maybe you could just cut them in two and make every other one. But then, the way the Kabbalists did, they started assigning the first one to 0 degrees Leo, because that was the Chaldean start of the year. And then they just assigned things like that. And of course, there would be a tarot card assigned to each one of those. And not only that, but you've already got 72 Goetic spirits already assigned also to those things, if you so choose, or you can create your own damn spirits. Do you see where I'm going with that? Create your own. And if you don't want to start at 0 degrees Leo, which was the classic way, the way the Golden Dawn and the Kabbalistic magicians did, start at 0 degrees Aries. Start at your birthday. But make it yours. Make it something you understand. Something that is meaningful for you. If it's only for an exercise, pick your own sacred text. Create your own set of 72 angels. Or double them up and make them 36. Assign them to your own calendar. Evoke them in any given day to have a conversation with you. Send them out on errands. Ask for their blessing. Ask for their insight. Ask for their WD-40 squirted in your soul. But anyway, that's something to think about. I'll try to find a JPEG of this particular thing. I've posted it 100 times on my page here. And go forth this weekend and create your own set of angels. That's it. I was late this morning, and I know this is a goofy thing, so I'm a goofy guy. Continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.